Rose Garden, White House. January 15th, 2026. 11:00 a.m. Sharp. Sunny, cold, temperature hovering around 38 degrees F. Perfect weather for what's about to happen. Clear skies, crisp air. The kind of January day in Washington that makes everything feel sharp, focused, real. No clouds, no haze, just clarity. President Donald Trump stands at the podium. Presidential seal gleaming gold in the winter sunlight. Blue suit, perfectly tailored. Brioni, probably. Red tie, power tie. The kind that says, "I'm in charge." American flag pin on his lapel. Slightly crooked. He doesn't care about things like that. Too busy winning. That confident smile. The one that says he knows something you don't. The one that has terrified opponents for 50 years in business and politics. Behind him, the West Wing, white columns, classical architecture, symbol of American power, symbol of presidential authority, symbol of the most powerful office on earth. Cameras everywhere. Dozens of them. More than usual. Every major network represented. CNN has 3 full crews, anchors, producers, technical staff. Fox News has 5. They knew this would be big. MSNBC sent their entire White House team. Even Al Jazeera is here. BBC, Reuters, Associated Press, Agence France, ANSI Press. This is worldwide news. Breaking news. All the White House correspondents got the alert 90 minutes ago. Short message. Official White House letterhead. Major press conference at 11:00 a.m. Operation Clean Plate announcement. Federal fraud investigation. Representative Ilhan Omar will attend as Minnesota representative. That last line caught everyone's attention. Omar attending a Trump press conference voluntarily. Something's happening. Something big. Representative Ilhan Omar stands off to the side, stage left, about 15 feet from Trump's podium. Close enough to be in frame. Close enough to hear everything. Close enough to be humiliated. Democrat from Minnesota. 5th Congressional District, Minneapolis. Squad member. Progressive icon. Democratic Socialist. First Somali American ever elected to Congress. First Muslim woman to wear a hijab on the House floor. Wearing a navy blue hijab today. Professional, somber, dark pants suit, trying to look confident, trying to look strong, failing. Her hands clasped in front of her. A little too tight, knuckles slightly white. She was invited here as Minnesota's representative for a press conference about federal fraud. That's what they told her office. Bipartisan show of concern about fraud. Photo opportunity. Standard White House event. She'll stand beside Trump. Look concerned. Then give a statement defending her Somali American community. Push back against Trump's racist attacks on Somali immigrants. Call for due process. Call for fairness. Get some good clips for social media. CNN will love it. MSNBC will call her brave. The squad will rally around her. AOC will tweet support. Perfect optics. She has absolutely no idea what's about to happen. Press corps seated in neat rows. 80-plus reporters. Front 3 rows filled with the big names. Major networks, national newspapers, political blogs, new media, old media. All of them. Notepads out, digital recorders ready, smartphones ready, cameras hot, red lights glowing. This is going out live. Every network carrying it. YouTube live stream, Facebook Live, Twitter stream. Millions watching already. Will be tens of millions within the hour. Trump steps to the microphone, adjusts it down slightly. He's 6'3". The microphone's always too high. That familiar gesture, that showman's pause. He's done this thousands of times. Rallies, press conferences, debates, apprentice boardroom scenes. He knows how to work a camera, knows how to build suspense. Let the anticipation grow. Let them wonder what he'll say. Let the tension build. Thank you all for being here today. His voice carries strong, clear, that New York accent. Unmistakable. Beautiful day. Really beautiful. Cold, but beautiful. I love days like this. Cold and clear. You can see everything. You can see for miles. Clarity. That's what today is about. Clarity, truth, facts. He looks around, makes eye contact with individual reporters. He knows most of them by name, knows which networks they work for, knows their biases, knows who's fair and who hates him. Master showman. He nods at the Fox News team. Slight smile, they smile back. Then he looks at CN. The smile disappears. They look down. Can't meet his eyes. He has that effect. We're here to announce Operation Clean Plate. Major federal investigation. Massive investigation. Multi-agency, FBI, IRS, Treasury, Justice Department, all of them working together. The biggest investigation in American history into welfare fraud, child nutrition fraud, COVID fraud, pandemic fraud, happening right now in Minnesota, has been happening for years. Under everyone's noses, $1 billion. That's billion with a B, maybe more. Nobody knows the full extent yet. My investigators say it could be even higher. Could be 2 billion. We'll see. Stolen from American children, from hungry kids who needed food, from taxpayers, from hard-working Americans, from you, from your family, from every American who pays their taxes honestly. He pauses. Let that number sink in. Let it breathe. Billion with a B. 1,000 million. The cameras zoom in on his face. Serious now. Presidential Commander-in-Chief face. This isn't Rally Trump. This is President Trump. I've invited Congresswoman Ilhan Omar here today. He gestures to her with his left hand. She manages a tight smile, forced, uncomfortable. The cameras immediately pan to her. Zoom in. High definition, 4K zoom lenses, every micro-expression captured. She represents Minnesota's 5th District, Minneapolis, and surrounding areas, where most of this fraud occurred, where criminals set up fake food sites, where fraudsters created shell companies, where people claimed to feed children who didn't exist, where hundreds of millions of dollars disappeared, where children went hungry while criminals bought mansions, luxury cars, BMWs, Mercedes, jewelry, traveled to Dubai, all on taxpayer money. Trump's voice hardens slightly. She also sponsored the legislation that enabled this fraud, made it possible, made it easy. The Meals Act of 2020. Her bill, her name on it, first sponsor. Her legislation that weakened oversight on federal child nutrition programs, that made it easier to claim reimbursements, that reduced audits, that removed safeguards. Her bill. Omar's smile completely disappears, falters just for a second, but the cameras catch it. Every camera, every angle. Her lawyer standing behind her just out of frame, trying to be invisible tenses. His shoulders go rigid. This wasn't the plan. This isn't what they discussed with the White House Chief of Staff 3 days ago. This was supposed to be a standard announcement. Statement from Trump about the investigation. Statement from Omar about due process and not blaming entire communities. Questions from press about both statements. Standard procedure. Normal protocol. This is not normal. This is not standard. This is something else entirely. So I thought, Trump continues, voice casual again, conversational. Before we make the official announcement, before we hear the Congresswoman's prepared statement defending her community, before we get into the standard back and forth, I should ask her some questions. Presidential questions, important questions. Questions that need answers, questions that the American people deserve answers to, questions that have been ignored for too long, questions that the media won't ask because they're too busy protecting her. He looks directly at the press corps on that last line, directly at CNN's chief White House correspondent. She shifts in her seat, uncomfortable. He's calling them out, calling out their bias, their protection of Omar, their refusal to ask hard questions. And he's doing it on live television in front of millions. Omar's smile is completely gone now, face neutral, trying not to show emotion, trying not to show fear, failing. Her hands clasped tighter, knuckles white now, visible. Her lawyer behind her makes a small gesture, a headshake. No, don't engage. But there's nothing to be done. She's already here, already in the Rose Garden, already on camera. Too late to leave. Congresswoman Omar, Trump says, voice friendly, almost warm. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for coming. You didn't have to come. You could have stayed in your office on Capitol Hill. Could have issued a written statement. Could have sent an aide. Could have declined the invitation. But you came. You showed up. That's very brave. Very brave. I respect that. I really do. So, let's talk. Let's have a real conversation. Not talking points, not prepared statements. Real talk about your Meals Act. About the fraud it enabled. About the $1 billion that disappeared. About your campaign official who's now a convicted criminal sitting in federal prison. About your mysterious millions that appeared from nowhere. About a lot of things. Many things. Important things. All documented, all proven. All ready for the American people to hear. Trump reaches under the podium, pulls out a folder. Thick, very thick. 3 inches of paper, maybe more. Organized with colored tabs sticking out the side. Blue tab, red tab, yellow tab, green tab, purple tab, orange tab. 6 tabs, 6 scandals, each one color-coded. The kind of folder that trial lawyers use when they're about to destroy someone on cross-examination. The kind that defense attorneys fear. The kind that means someone's in serious, serious trouble. CNN's chief correspondent turns to her producer, urgent whisper. Are we really seeing this? Is this actually happening? The producer nods, pale. We're live. We can't cut away. He's the president. Fox News cameras zoom tighter on the folder. This is television gold. Pure gold. Their viewers are going to love this. Their ratings will be astronomical. And just so we're absolutely clear, Trump continues, tapping the folder for emphasis. So, there's no confusion, no misunderstanding, no claims later that this wasn't fair or proper. I'm the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief. You're a guest at my house. Well, not really my house. The People's House, the White House, the most powerful building in the world, the center of American power. So, I'll ask questions, important questions. You'll answer them honestly, completely, truthfully, under the eyes of the American people. Then, after we're done, after you've answered everything, you can make your statement. You can defend yourself. You can explain. You'll have your chance. Full chance, fair chance. Sound fair? Of course it does. Of course it's fair. Very fair. I'm a very fair person. People say Trump's not fair. Wrong. I'm extremely fair. Ask anyone who knows me. So, let's begin. Omar opens her mouth, tries to speak, tries to establish some ground rules, some parameters. Trump holds up his hand, friendly, almost gentle, that slight smile, but the hand is firm. Absolute presidential authority, the authority of the office, the power of the presidency. Not yet, Congresswoman, not yet. I'm asking the questions first. That's how this works. That's protocol. Presidential protocol. The president asks questions first. Then you answer. Then we move forward. Simple, fair, democratic, the American way. First question. And I want you to listen very carefully because this is extremely important. This is the foundation of everything else we're going to discuss today. Did you know when you sponsored and passed the Meals Act of 2020? Did you know that it would enable the largest COVID fraud, the largest child nutrition fraud, the largest welfare fraud in American history? Did you know? Yes or no? Very simple question. Just answer yes or no. The Rose Garden erupts. Not questions, just shock, gasps, whispered reactions. This is unprecedented. The president is interrogating a sitting member of Congress on live television in the Rose Garden during what was supposed to be a standard press conference. CNN's correspondent actually says, "Oh my God," out loud. Her microphone picks it up, transmitted live. Fox News team is barely containing their excitement. Grins, nods. They've been waiting for this moment. MSNBC looks absolutely stricken. Their progressive darling, their squad icon being publicly interrogated by Trump on camera. Nowhere to hide. This isn't a press conference. This is an ambush, a trap, a public execution. And the entire world is watching. But they can't intervene. Can't stop it. Can't do anything. He's the President of the United States. This is his house, his press conference, his rules, and he's asking legitimate questions about documented fraud. Questions that should have been asked years ago, questions the media refused to ask. Omar's jaw clenches, muscles visible, tension radiating. She's grinding her teeth, trying to control her anger, her fear, her panic. All three fighting for dominance. Mr. President, her voice is tight, controlled. Years of political training keeping it steady. The fraud was committed by criminals, by bad actors, people who exploited a program that was designed with good intentions to help hungry children during the pandemic. Stop. Trump's voice is firm. Not angry, not loud, just firm. Final. The voice of someone who's been in charge his entire life. Someone who's fired thousands of people. Someone who's run businesses worth billions. Someone who knows how to command. Stop right there. That's not a yes or no answer. That's not an answer at all. That's a deflection. That's a talking point. That's what your staff prepared for you to say. I didn't ask about the criminals. I didn't ask about good intentions. I didn't ask about the pandemic. I asked a simple question, yes or no. Let me try again. I'll go slower this time. Make it very clear. Your bill HR, whatever number it was, your legislation, the Meals Act of 2020, the bill with your name on it as primary sponsor. Did you know at the time you wrote it, at the time you sponsored it, at the time you voted for it? Did you know it would be used by criminals to steal $1 billion from American children? Did you know that would happen? Yes or no? 2 options. Pick one. Omar tries again. Different approach. I cannot be held personally responsible for how criminals choose to exploit. So that's a no. Trump cuts her off. decisive. You're saying no. You didn't know. You didn't know your bill was badly written. Didn't know it had no safeguards. Didn't know it removed oversight. Didn't know criminals would use it. You didn't know. Okay, good. Thank you. We're making progress here. Real progress. Now we have your answer on record. You didn't know. That's either incompetence, meaning you wrote a bill so badly designed, so poorly thought out, so lacking in basic safeguards that it enabled $1 billion in fraud. Or it's a lie, meaning you did know, you knew exactly what would happen, and you let it happen anyway because it benefited your community, your constituents, maybe even you personally. We'll figure out which one it is. We have investigators, lots of them, FBI, very good at their jobs, IRS, probably the best investigators in the world, Treasury, Financial Crimes Division. They're all looking at this very carefully, very thoroughly. They'll find the truth. Trust me, they always do. Trump flips open the folder. First blue tab, the fraud section. Dozens of pages, documents, reports, charts, evidence, all organized, all ready, all devastating. Next question. He reads from a document. Your campaign official, your political supporter, your friend, a man named Gwad Hashi, S-aide. He worked on your campaigns, multiple campaigns, attended events with you, lots of events, fundraisers, community events, political rallies. You took photos together, lots of photos, smiling together, looking very friendly, very close. Do you remember him? Do you remember Gwad? Omar nods barely, almost imperceptible, but the cameras catch it. Good, good. You remember. That's good, because Gwad has been convicted. Convicted in federal court, pleaded guilty. Guilty. Admitted it. Confessed to everything. $3.2 million in fraud. $3.2 million using a fake food site. Lying about feeding children. Creating false meal reports. Claiming he was feeding 5,000 children a day. 5,000 every single day. Except the children didn't exist. The site didn't exist. The food didn't exist. Nothing existed except the money. Federal money, taxpayer money, your money, America. He stole it, pocketed it, spent it on himself, on luxury goods, on his lifestyle. And you know where he is right now, Gwad? Right now, at this very moment. Federal prison, where he belongs, where criminals belong. Trump looks up from the document, looks directly at Omar, that stare, the stare that made contractors nervous, that made opponents fold, that made employees confess, that piercing Trump stare. My question, and this is very important, probably the most important question so far. Did you know he was stealing? Did you know your campaign official, your supporter, your friend, was committing federal fraud? Did you know he was stealing from children? Yes or no? The cameras zoom in tight on Omar's face. Extreme close-up, color draining visibly. You can see it happen in real time. She went from healthy brown complexion to gray. Ash gray, the color of fear, of guilt, of being caught. Realization setting in, complete understanding washing over her face. This isn't just about fraud in Minnesota. This isn't just about the Meals Act. This is about her money, her crimes, her corruption. This is about everything, every scandal, every lie, every fraudulent dollar. And Trump has it all. Every piece of evidence, every document, every witness, every transaction. This is going to be bad. Very bad. Possibly career-ending bad. Possibly prison bad. Mr. President, Her voice shakes now. Training breaking down, fear breaking through. I think we should follow proper procedure and allow law enforcement to— You think we should talk about this? Trump interrupts, almost cheerful, enjoying this. He's a performer, always has been, loves the big moments, lives for them. I absolutely agree 100%. That's exactly why we're here. That's why I cleared my morning schedule. That's why I invited you. That's why I set up this press conference. That's why millions of Americans are watching right now. Probably tens of millions by now, maybe 100 million worldwide. Everyone wants to know. Everyone deserves to know. Record viewership. Probably the highest-rated press conference in history. We're making history here. So, answer the question. Did you know your campaign official, the man in your photos at your events supporting your campaigns, was stealing millions of dollars from American children? Yes or no? Silence. Complete silence. 5 seconds. 10, 15, 20. The only sound in the rose garden is the clicking of cameras. The soft mechanical click, click, click of professional DSLRs, the quiet rustle of reporters shifting in their seats. Someone coughs, tries to suppress it, fails. That's it. That's all. The press corps doesn't know where to look. This is painful, awkward, brutal, like watching a car crash in slow motion. Even the CNN reporters look uncomfortable. This is their ideological ally being destroyed. But they can't look away. No one can look away. 30 seconds. 40. Omar still hasn't answered. Can't answer. Either answer destroys her. Yes means she knew. Knew and did nothing. Covered for a criminal. Participated in fraud. No means she's incompetent. Didn't know her own campaign official was a criminal. Didn't vet her supporters. Didn't notice millions being stolen right under her nose. Both answers are terrible. So she says nothing. We'll come back to that one. Trump says casual like this is normal. Like interrogating members of Congress on live TV is just another Tuesday. Put a pin in it. We'll revisit it. But here's what I know. And I know a lot. I've been very busy. Extremely busy. My people have been working around the clock. Weekends, nights, holidays. I have investigators. I have researchers. I have accountants, forensic accountants, the best in the world. I have lawyers, constitutional lawyers, criminal lawyers, federal prosecutors, all of them working together, working as a team. And we found some very interesting things, shocking things, unbelievable things about you, Congresswoman, about your money, about how you went from broke to multimillionaire, about your husband, about how he went from broke to multimillionaire, about your friends, about their money, about your campaigns, about everything. We have everything. Trump spreads the folder fully open on the podium. Pages visible, dozens of them, hundreds maybe. The microphone picks up the rustling, amplifies it. Every page turned sounds like thunder in the silence. So, here's what we're going to do today. Here's the plan. Simple plan. Fair plan. We're going to go through this systematically, carefully, thoroughly, completely. I'm going to present 6 major scandals, 6 sections, one at a time, step by step. I have 6 colored tabs here. He taps each tab. Blue, red, yellow, green, purple, orange. 6 major scandals, 6 federal crimes, all documented, all proven, all ready for prosecution, all ready for the American people to judge. Behind the press corps, MSNBC's producer is on the phone, urgent, panicked. We need to figure out how to cover this. He can't finish. There's no comparison. Nothing like this has ever happened. And at the end, Trump continues, after we go through all 6 scandals, after America sees all the evidence, after everyone hears all the testimony, all the facts, all the truth, then America can decide for themselves. You can decide. Is Ilhan Omar a victim? Is she a victim of racism like she always claims, like her lawyers will claim, like CNN will claim, like MSNBC will claim? Or is she something else? Is she a fraud, a criminal, a corrupt politician, a traitor, someone who puts Somalia over America, someone who enriches herself while her constituents stay poor? Let's find out together. Let's see the evidence. Let's follow the facts. Let's see where the truth leads us. Omar looks at her lawyer, panic in her eyes, complete panic. He's shaking his head frantically, desperately. This is disaster, complete disaster, legal disaster, political disaster, career-ending disaster, constitutional crisis, maybe. But there's nothing he can do. Nothing anyone can do. She's standing in the Rose Garden with the President of the United States on live television, being broadcast to the world. She can't walk away, can't refuse to answer, can't claim executive privilege, can't do anything except stand there and take it. Take every question. Answer or not answer. Both options terrible. She made a catastrophic mistake coming here, absolutely catastrophic. And President Donald J. Trump knows it, and is going to make her pay publicly, thoroughly, devastatingly. Let me start with the numbers. Trump's voice changes, more serious, less showman, more prosecutor. He's done depositions before, hundreds of them, knows how to build a case. Because I'm a numbers guy, always have been. My whole life, my whole career, built everything on numbers. Buildings, businesses, deals, profits, losses, balance sheets, income statements, cash flow. I know numbers. I understand numbers. I respect numbers. And here's what I know about numbers. They don't lie. People lie. Politicians lie. Especially politicians are professional liars. But numbers tell the truth. Always. Every single time. You can't spin numbers. You can't deflect with numbers. Numbers just are. Behind the press corps, CNN's White House correspondent whispers urgently into her phone, trying to be quiet. Failing. The microphones pick it up. He's actually doing this. He's interrogating her live. This is insane. Get the entire legal team standing by. We need constitutional experts. We need to know if this is legal. Her producer responds, voice tiny through the phone speaker. It's legal. He's the president. She's here voluntarily. He can ask whatever he wants. Fox News cameras zoom in tighter on Trump, then Omar, then back to Trump. The director is loving this. Split-screen possibilities, contrast shots. This is television gold. Absolute gold. The kind of moment people will remember for decades. The kind of footage that gets replayed in documentaries. Trump pulls out the first document from under the blue tab. Official looking. Government letterhead, Department of Justice, seal visible. He holds it up briefly for the cameras, for the viewers, then sets it down on the podium, reads from it slowly, deliberately. Every word matters. Every syllable counts. The Meals Act, H.R. 6836, introduced April 23, 2020, during COVID, during the pandemic lockdowns, when schools were closed, when children were home, when families were struggling. Primary sponsor, Representative Ilhan Omar. Co-sponsors, Ayanna Pressley, Jamie Raskin, a few others, but your name first, your bill, your baby. Passed the House in May. Passed the Senate in June. Signed into law July 15, 2020. Purpose, according to the bill text, to provide flexibility to ensure access to meals during the COVID-19 pandemic. Noble purpose, beautiful purpose, helping hungry children. Who could be against that? Who could oppose feeding children during a pandemic? He pauses, looks up from the paper directly at Omar. That prosecutor stare. Except, that's not what happened. That's not what it actually did. Your bill weakened oversight, massively weakened it, made it easier to claim federal reimbursements for feeding children. Much easier. Removed verification requirements, reduced auditing frequency, eliminated site visits, removed background checks. Basically said, if you claim you're feeding children, we'll trust you. We'll send you money, lots of money, federal money, taxpayer money, no questions asked. That's what your bill did. In the name of emergency, in the name of helping children quickly, in the name of flexibility. But really, it created the biggest fraud opportunity in American history. Trump pulls out another document, a chart, red bars and numbers, shocking numbers. He holds it up for the cameras, lets them zoom in, lets America see. Here's what happened next. Feeding Our Future, the main nonprofit based in Minneapolis, your district, your constituents. They claimed they were feeding hundreds of thousands of children daily through schools, through community centers, through mosques, through daycare centers. They claimed millions of meals, millions, and the federal government, our government, sent them money, lots of money, using the flexibility your bill created, using the loosened oversight your bill enabled. He sets down the chart, looks at the numbers himself, shakes his head, disgusted. $250 million. That's what we've proven so far. That's what's been convicted in federal court, $250 million. But prosecutors think it's much higher. Much, much higher. They think the total fraud could reach $1 billion, maybe more. Because the oversight was so bad. Because the records were so poor. Because your bill made it so easy to lie, we may never know the full amount. Trump's voice rises slightly. Controlled anger, presidential indignation. Want to know what they were really doing? Want to know the truth? No food, no children, no meals, nothing. Empty buildings, fake addresses, ghost kitchens. Some sites were literally just parking lots, empty lots. One address was a closed restaurant. Another was someone's house. No kids, no food, no nothing. Just claims, just paperwork, just lies and money. Lots and lots of money flowing from Washington to Minneapolis to bank accounts to criminals. A reporter from Reuters raises her hand, tries to ask a question. Trump waves her off. Not yet. Questions later. I'm not done. Not even close. He pulls out photos, printed color, high quality, holds them up one by one. This is Safari Restaurant, Minneapolis, your district. Looks legitimate, right? Actual restaurant, actual business. Except the co-owner guy, named Abdul Qadir Noor Salah, was just convicted. Convicted in federal court. March 24th. Found guilty of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, to commit federal programs bribery, to commit money laundering. Part of the Feeding Our Future scheme. $70 million. $70 million through this one restaurant. Trump sets down the photo of the restaurant, picks up another photo. This one's worse. Much worse. And here's you at that restaurant in the summer of 2000 on video. We have the full video. CNN won't show it to you, but we will. You're there at Safari, smiling, handing out food, wearing an apron, looking very community-minded, very charitable, praising the program, praising Feeding Our Future, talking about how wonderful it is that children are being fed. He pauses. Let that image sink in. Let America picture it. Omar at a restaurant that was committing massive fraud, praising the program being used to steal. The co-owner who was just convicted. You were in his restaurant promoting his program, praising his work, and now he's in federal prison for fraud, for stealing from children. And you were there, smiling, promoting, praising. Trump's voice drops, quieter, more dangerous. So my question, Congresswoman Omar, and I need a direct answer this time. Did you know when you were at Safari Restaurant in 2020, when you were praising the program, when you were handing out food and smiling for the cameras? Did you know that restaurant was part of a massive fraud scheme? Did you know? Yes or no? Omar tries to respond, voice shaking now, fear evident. Mr. President, I attended many community events during the pandemic. I visited many sites that were providing services. That's not an answer. That's still deflection. I asked a very simple question. When you were at Safari, did you know it was committing fraud? Did you know? Yes or no? 2 options. I was not aware of any criminal activity at the time. So no, you didn't know. You were at a restaurant committing $70 million in fraud, and you didn't know. Okay, so either you're lying, you did know and you're covering it up, or you're incompetent. You were so bad at oversight, so bad at due diligence, so bad at basic awareness that you couldn't tell a massive fraud operation from a legitimate charity. Both are bad, very bad. Disqualifying bad for a member of Congress. Trump flips to another page. More documents, more evidence. The folder is thick, so much more to go. But wait, it gets better, much better, because Safari wasn't the only connection, not even close. Let me tell you about your campaign official, your political supporter, your friend. He pulls out a photo, large 8x10 color, high quality. Omar and a Somali man both smiling big smiles at some kind of event, campaign event maybe, community event. They look close, friendly, connected. Gwad Hashi, remember him? We talked about him briefly earlier, but let's go deeper. Let's really examine this relationship. He worked on your campaigns, multiple campaigns. 2018, 2000. 2022. He was your ground game coordinator, your community liaison. He organized Somali American outreach, voter registration drives, get out the vote efforts. He was important to your operation. Very important. Essential, maybe. Trump taps the photo. And you two were close. Not just professionally, personally. Friends. This photo is from your campaign victory party in 2020. After you won the primary, you're celebrating together. Happy, successful, winning. He sets down the photo, picks up legal documents, court filings, official-looking Department of Justice headers. Here's what Gwad was doing while working on your campaign, while organizing your voters, while attending your events, while celebrating your victories. He was running a fake food site called Advance Youth Athletic Development, claimed to be feeding children, filed claims with the federal government through Feeding Our Future. Said he was providing 5,000 meals per day, 5,000 every day to children in Minneapolis. Trump looks up, eyebrows raised, that incredulous expression. 5,000 meals per day. That's a lot of meals. That's a massive operation. Industrial kitchen, staff, supplies, logistics. Huge undertaking. Except none of it existed. No food, no kitchen, no staff. Nothing. Just claims, just paperwork, just lies and money. $3.2 million. $3.2 million that Guad stole from the federal government, stole from children while working on your campaign. Silence. Heavy silence. The press corps is riveted. Even the CNN reporters look shocked. This is damning. Incredibly damning. He was arrested in September 2022, charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit federal programs, bribery, and money laundering. He pleaded guilty. Guilty. Admitted everything. Confessed to the whole scheme, and he's now in federal prison serving his sentence where he belongs. Trump closes that section of documents. Loud thud on the podium. So let me ask you again, Congresswoman, and I really need an answer this time. A real answer. Your campaign official, the man coordinating your ground game, the man in your campaign photos. Did you know he was stealing $2 million? Did you know? How could you not know he was working for you, attending your events, in your photos? How do you not know your own campaign official is a criminal? Omar's lawyer steps forward, half-step, trying to intervene. Trump sees it, points at him. Sir, you can advise your client after she answers. This is between me and the Congresswoman. We're just having a conversation, just talking. Nothing wrong with talking. The lawyer steps back, helpless. Omar's hands are shaking now visibly. I returned those donations when I learned about the charges. Ah, good, thank you. You returned donations. That's a start. That's something. How much did you return? $7,400. $7,400, Trump says. Okay, let me do some math. You returned $7,400. He stole $3.2 million. That's 23%. You kept his support, his work, his donations for 99.77% of the time he was stealing. That's a long time. That's a lot of fraud to miss. The math lands hard. The numbers don't lie. You can see it on the reporters' faces. The calculation, the realization, the hypocrisy. And when did you return it? When did you give back that $7,400? After the indictment was made public. After he was indicted. After he was arrested. After it was in the newspapers. After it was too embarrassing to keep. Not before. Not when he was stealing. Not when children were going hungry. After it became public. After you had no choice. That's when you returned it, and you call that accountability. Trump shakes his head. Disappointed. The way a father might look at a disappointing child. Let me paint the full picture for America. For everyone watching. Your bill, the Meals Act, weakened oversight so much that it enabled $1 billion in fraud. You attended events at restaurants that were committing massive fraud. You praised the program being used to steal from children. Your campaign officials stole $3.2 million. You took his money and support for years, only returned it after he was arrested. And now you want me to believe you knew nothing, absolutely nothing. You're either the unluckiest politician in history, surrounded by criminals purely by coincidence, or you're lying. You knew, you participated, you benefited. Maybe you even profited. We'll see. My investigators are looking at that very carefully. He counts on his fingers one by one, making sure America sees, making sure the cameras catch every gesture. 78 people indicted. Most from your district, most from your community. Most Somali Americans, your constituents, your voters, your supporters, and you, the representative who's supposed to watch out for them. You enabled it with bad legislation. You celebrated it at fraud sites. You employed criminals, and you kept their money until you got caught. Trump closes the blue-tabbed section. Final. Definitive. That's fraud scandal number 1. The billion-dollar fraud. Your bill, your district, your supporters, your criminals, your responsibility. And we're just getting started. Not even close to done. Because the fraud is just the first scandal, just the appetizer. Now we get to your money, your mysterious money, your millions that appeared from nowhere. This is where it gets really interesting, really suspicious, really criminal. He flips to the red tab. More documents, more evidence, more crimes. In the press corps, MSNBC's correspondent has her head in her hands. This is a massacre, an absolute massacre. Fox News team is grinning, taking notes. Can't believe their luck? This is going to dominate news cycles for weeks. Omar looks at her lawyer again, more desperate this time. He shakes his head. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just have to endure. Next up, Trump says, that showman's smile returning, your $30 million, the money that magically appeared in your bank account. Let's talk about that, because America wants to know, where did it come from? Let me ask you something very simple, Congresswoman. Trump's voice changes again. Less prosecutorial, more conversational, like he's genuinely curious. Are you a millionaire? Simple yes or no question. Are you a millionaire? Omar hesitates. Fatal hesitation. Everyone watching notices. The pause is too long. Way too long. If the answer was no, she'd say no immediately, firmly, confidently. The pause means something else. Means yes or means complicated. Either way means trouble. Because you've said many times on television, in interviews, in written statements, that you're not a millionaire. You've said it a lot, many, many times. Quote, I am a working mom with student loan debt. I am not a millionaire. That was February 2025. Business Insider interview. Your exact words. Do you remember saying that? He doesn't wait for an answer. Doesn't need one. Let me show you something. Trump holds up 2 documents, one in each hand, like scales of justice. This is your financial disclosure form from 2023, filed with the clerk of the House. Official document under penalty of law. You have to tell the truth on these. It's a federal crime to lie. And on this form, your net worth is listed as less than $250,000. Student loans, credit card debt, not much in savings. Retirement account with maybe $60,000. Regular person finances, middle class, struggling a bit. I get it. Congress doesn't pay that well. $174,000 a year. Good salary, but not great. Not for living in 2 cities, not with a family, not with student loans. So, less than $250,000 net worth. Makes sense. He sets down that document, holds up the other one higher, makes sure everyone sees it. This is your financial disclosure form from 2024. 1 year later, same job, same salary, same Congresswoman. But suddenly, and this is absolutely remarkable, truly remarkable, maybe the best investment returns in human history, suddenly your net worth is between $6 million and $30 million. He pauses. Let that number hang in the air. Let it breathe. Let America absorb it. 6 to 30 million in 1 year on a congressional salary. That's not investment returns. That's not real estate appreciation. That's not salary savings. That's either fraud or magic. And I don't believe in magic. Behind the press corps, reporters are frantically Googling, checking the forms, confirming the numbers. They're real. All real. Public record. Anyone can look them up. Fox News puts the numbers on screen. 6 to 30 million from under 250,000 in 1 year. So, Congresswoman, I'll ask again. Are you a millionaire? Because according to your own disclosure, the form you signed under penalty of perjury, you're worth up to $30 million. That makes you a millionaire, a multimillionaire, one of the wealthiest members of Congress. So, when you told Business Insider you're not a millionaire, were you lying? Or were you lying on your disclosure? Because one of them has to be a lie. Can't both be true. Omar tries to speak, voice barely audible. My husband's businesses are listed on the disclosure, but that doesn't mean… Ah, yes, your husband, Tim Minette. We'll get to him in detail later. Trust me, we'll get to him. But first, let's talk about these businesses. These magical businesses that went from worthless to worth millions in 12 months. Let me read the details. Trump pulls out a breakdown sheet. Printed charts, numbers, all organized. Business number 1, EST Crew. That's a winery in California, Paso Robles area. Nice area. Good wine country. According to your 2023 disclosure, this winery was worth less than $50,000. Small operation, startup, not profitable yet, whatever. Wineries take time. I understand business. But on your 2024 disclosure, suddenly worth $1 to $5 million. He looks up. That Trump look. Eyebrows raised, skeptical. 100 times increase in value. 100x returns in 1 year for a winery. Now, I've been in real estate my whole life. I know about property values. I know about business valuations. And I'm telling you, wineries don't go up 100 times in value in 12 months. They don't. It doesn't happen. Not naturally. Not legitimately. Trump pulls out more documents, court filings, legal papers. And here's what makes it really interesting, really suspicious. Investors in this winery, actual investors who put in real money, their life savings in some cases, they're suing. They filed lawsuits. They say they lost everything. They say the winery is failing, can't pay bills, can't turn a profit, can't deliver on promises. One investor said, and I'm quoting from the court filing here, "We were defrauded. Promised returns that never came. Promised success that never happened. Our money is gone." He sets down the court documents, looks directly at Omar. So, explain this to me. Help me understand. Investors say the winery is worthless, say they lost everything, say it's failing. But on your disclosure, it's worth millions. How does a failing winery that defrauded investors become worth millions? Someone's lying. Either the investors are lying, and they're lying under oath in court, which is perjury, or you're lying on your disclosure. Which is it? No answer. Omar looks down. Can't meet his eyes. Can't meet the cameras. The body language says everything. Business number 2. Trump continues relentless. Rose Lake Capital, venture capital firm, your husband's firm, his and his partners. Now, this one is really special. This one is my favorite because the numbers are so ridiculous, so impossible, so obviously fraudulent. He holds up court documents, more filings, more legal paperwork. In 2015, this firm was involved in a marijuana business lawsuit, a cannabis company in South Dakota. The lawsuit required financial disclosures, discovery, documents under oath, and in those documents, court documents, so it's official, Its legal record, Rose Lake Capital, reported having exactly $42.44 in its bank account. $42. Trump pauses. Let that sink in. $42.44. That's less than a nice lunch in Washington, D.C. Trump pauses. Let that sink in. $2. The absurdity of it. But on your congressional disclosure filed the same year, the same period, this same company, Rose Lake Capital, is listed as being worth $5 million to $25 million. From 42 to 25 million dollars. That's not business growth. That's not investment returns. That's not a market change. That's fraud. Clear fraud, obvious fraud, provable fraud. He spreads out the documents. Court filing showing $42. Congressional disclosure showing $25 million. Side by side, the contrast is damning. So, Congresswoman Omar, explain this. Help America understand. How does a company with $42 in the bank become worth $25 million on your disclosure? What happened? Did someone deposit $25 million? Where did it come from? Whose money is it? Why isn't it in the bank account? Why does the court say $42, but you say $25 million? Silence. Complete silence. Omar has no answer, no explanation, no defense. Because there isn't one. The numbers speak for themselves. Here's what I think happened. Trump leans on the podium, casual, conversational, like he's explaining something obvious. I think you took money, lots of money from somewhere. Maybe fraud money from your district, maybe foreign money from Somalia, maybe terror money. We're investigating all of that. And you hid it. You hid it in your husband's businesses, made them look valuable on paper, claimed millions in wealth. But the money came from somewhere dirty, somewhere illegal, somewhere criminal, and now you're caught. Fox News puts up a graphic. The numbers, the comparison, the timeline. It's devastating, undeniable. MSNBC looks ill. Their progressive icon is being destroyed with her own documents. And here's the kicker, the final piece. During all of this, while the winery was failing, while Rose Lake had $42, while investors were suing, while you were claiming to be broke with student loans, your husband's companies received hundreds of thousands of dollars from your campaigns. Your political campaigns paid his businesses. We'll get to that in the next section. But just to preview, $2.78 million. Your campaigns paid your husband's companies $2.78 million. And then those companies magically became worth millions. Convenient. Very convenient. Suspiciously convenient. Trump closes the red-tabbed section. Loud. Final. So, that's scandal number 2. The mysterious millions. You went from broke to multi-millionaire in 1 year. Your husband's businesses went from worthless to millions. Court documents show empty bank accounts. Your disclosure shows massive wealth. Investors sued for fraud. You claimed success. Someone's lying. And my investigators are going to prove it's you. He taps the folder. Still thick. Still many pages to go. That's 2 major scandals. Billion-dollar fraud. Mysterious millions. And we're only at the halfway point. We've got 4 more to go. Your husband payoff, your marriage fraud, your anti-Semitism, your Somalia loyalty. All documented, all proven, all ready for prosecution. Trump looks at his watch. Cartier, gold, expensive. We've been going 40 minutes. You holding up okay, Congresswoman? Need water? Need a break? No? Good. Because we're moving faster now. The next 4 are going to go quicker. Much quicker. Let's talk about how you paid your husband millions before you married him. While you were having an affair, while you were both married to other people. This is the fun part. Really juicy stuff. Tim Minot, your husband. Let me tell you about Tim Minot. Nice guy, good-looking, smooth talker, consultant. I don't know him personally, never met him, but I know about him. I know a lot about him. My team has done extensive research, very extensive background checks, financial records, travel records, everything. And what we found is very interesting, very suspicious, very incriminating. Trump opens the yellow tab. Campaign finance records pile up. FEC filings, thick stack, the kind that shows where every single dollar goes. Every payment, every vendor, every transaction. Behind the press corps, Fox News puts up a graphic. Omar campaign payments to husband's firm. The numbers are shocking, even to people who thought they knew the story. Tim Minot ran a consulting firm called E Street Group. Him and his partner, guy named Will Haler. They did political consulting, the usual stuff. Digital advertising, Facebook ads, Instagram, Twitter, fundraising, emails, direct mail campaigns, voter outreach, database management, the standard campaign services. And in 2020, your campaign hired them. Your re-election campaign paid them a lot. A whole lot. More than any House campaign should ever pay consultants. He reads slowly from an FEC report, official document, public record. $2.78 million. Almost $3 million for one congressional campaign, one House race in Minnesota. A safe Democratic district. A seat you were going to win easily. But you paid this firm, your future husband's firm, $2.78 million. Let me put that in perspective. Average House campaign spends maybe $2 million total. Total on everything. Ads, staff, travel, everything. You spent almost $3 million just on one consulting firm, one firm run by the man you were having an affair with. Trump looks up, that knowing smile. The one that says he's about to drop a bomb. Now, here's the timeline. This is important. Follow along carefully. In 2019, you and Tim start working together, traveling together a lot. Your schedules match up perfectly. Same flights, same airports, same cities, same hotels. Denver, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Seattle. All over the country together. Very close. Very intimate. Lots of alone time. His wife, Beth Minot, notices. Of course, she notices. Wives always notice. She gets suspicious, hires lawyers, good lawyers, expensive lawyers. And in her divorce filing, she says exactly what's happening. No ambiguity, no uncertainty. Direct accusation. He holds up divorce documents, official court filings, public record. Anyone can look them up. Quote, from Beth Minot's divorce petition filed September 2019. Quote, defendant's travel and work hours appear to be related to his ongoing relationship with Ilhan Omar. Not professional relationship, not working relationship, ongoing relationship. That's affair language. That's marriage-ending language. That's his wife under oath in court, naming you specifically as the reason her marriage ended, blaming you, saying you destroyed her family. Trump sets down the divorce papers. Dramatic, loud thud on the podium. Now affairs happen. People make mistakes. Marriages end. I get it. I've been divorced. It happens. I'm not judging personal lives. I'm not the morality police. But here's where it becomes my business. Here's where it becomes illegal. Here's where it becomes criminal. He pulls out more FEC reports, more campaign finance records, highlighted numbers, yellow markers showing the payments. While this alleged affair is happening, while you're traveling together, while you're staying in the same hotels, while his wife is filing for divorce and naming you, your campaign is paying his firm millions. 2.778 million. That's not just consulting fees. That's not market rate for services. That's something else. That's payment for silence. Maybe that's compensation for loyalty. That's hush money. That's a bribe. That's something illegal. Trump flips through page after page of FEC reports. Look at these payments. March 2020, $96,000 to E Street Group. April, $120,000. May, $147,000. June, $203,000. Month after month after month. Payments for what? What services? What deliverables? You won your primary easily. You won your general easily. Safe seat. No real competition, but you paid millions. He looks directly at Omar. That prosecutor's stare. The one from depositions, from courtroom cross-examinations. So my question, and I really need an honest answer here, did you pay Tim Minette millions because of the affair? Yes or no? Because $2.78 million is way too much money for a House campaign. Way too much. It's a suspicious amount. The kind of amount that makes federal investigators very, very interested. The kind of amount that gets people indicted for campaign finance violations. Omar tries to respond, voice shaking. Mr. President, E Street Group provided legitimate campaign services that were properly reported. Stop! Don't give me boilerplate. Don't give me lawyer speak. I asked a simple question. Did you pay him millions because of the affair? Yes or no? Silence. She can't answer. Both answers are disasters. After the scandal breaks, after newspapers report it, after his wife's divorce filing becomes public, after everyone knows about the affair, suddenly you cut ties with E Street Group. August 2020. Just stop paying them. Clean break. Very convenient timing, good optics, smart politics, makes it look like you're responding to criticism, makes it look responsible. Trump's voice hardens. But then just a few months later, March 2021, you marry Tim Minette. Make it official. Marry the consultant who got millions from your campaign. Marry the man whose wife accused you of destroying her marriage. Marry the affair partner, and suddenly his businesses are worth millions on your financial disclosure. The same businesses that were broke a year earlier. Very convenient, very suspicious, very criminal. He closes that yellow section. Loud, definitive. So that's Scandal 3, $2.78 million to your future husband's firm while having an affair, while his wife was divorcing him because of you. Then you marry him. Then his businesses magically become worth millions. That's not love. That's money laundering. That's campaign finance fraud. That's corruption. Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi. Who is he? That's the question everyone's been asking for years, and you've never really answered. Never directly. Never honestly. Today, you're going to answer. Trump pulls out old marriage records, immigration documents, school records. You married Elmi in 2009. Legal marriage, filed paperwork, made it official, stayed married until 2017, 8 years. But here's the problem. Multiple problems. Educational records from the UK show Elmi's father has the same name as your father. Same exact name. He holds up the documents. Now, that could be coincidence. Somali names, common names, maybe. Except you, Ahmed Hirsi, the guy you were with before the guy you're with now, and Ahmed Elmi all lived at the same address, same house together in Columbia Heights, Minnesota. That's not normal. That's suspicious. Trump's voice hardens. And here's the smoking gun. Tax fraud. Your tax returns 2014 and 2015. You filed jointly with Hersey, but you were legally married to Elmi. Can't file jointly with someone you're not married to. That's tax fraud. Federal crime. He taps the tax documents. So here's what investigators think. You married Elmi for immigration fraud, helped a relative, possibly your brother, get citizenship, then committed tax fraud by filing with Hersey. 2 federal crimes, and when we asked you to take a DNA test to prove Elmi isn't your brother, you refused multiple times. If he's not your brother, why refuse? Clear your name. Move on. But you won't, because you can't, because it's true. April 26, 2024, Columbia University. You visited during the anti-Israel protests, while Jewish students were being harassed, while people chanted, "Death to Jews," and you called Jewish students pro-genocide. Those students, American citizens, kids trying to get an education, you called them pro-genocide for supporting Israel. Trump's voice is cold, angry. Since October 7th, 78% of American Jews feel less safe. That's what happens when members of Congress spread hatred. When you say, it's all about the Benjamins, about Jewish support for Israel, that's anti-Semitic. When you call Israel evil and compare them to the Taliban, that's anti-Semitic. When you vote against Iron Dome funding, a defensive system protecting civilians, that's anti-Semitic. He pulls out photos of vandalized synagogues, Jewish students attacked. This happened in America while you spread hate, while you called Jewish students genocidal, while you empowered anti-Semites. These are consequences of your rhetoric. And House Resolution 1207 to censure you? It failed because Democrats protected you. But America sees the truth. Trump leans forward. Simple question. Does Israel have a right to exist? Yes or no? Omar won't answer. Can't answer. The silence says everything. Your silence tells America everything they need to know. January 24th, 2026. Speech to Somali Americans in Somalia. You called Somalia your home, not America. You said, we Somalis, not we Americans. Like you represent Somalia in Congress, not Minnesota. Trump's voice is sharp, cutting. You oppose U.S. recognition of Somaliland. Why? Because Somalia doesn't like it. You're representing Somalia's interests, not America's. You work with CARE, an organization with documented Hamas ties. FBI identified them as Hamas supporters. But you work with them. Why? He pulls out Treasury documents. And now Treasury is investigating whether fraud money from Minnesota went to al-Shabaab terrorists in Somalia. Al-Qaeda affiliate terrorists. Investigating whether money meant for American children ended up funding terrorism. And you're right in the middle. Your bill, your district, your community, your campaign officials. Treasury investigating terror funding. Trump's voice drops, deadly serious. If we find money went to terrorists, if we find you knew, if we find you facilitated it, that's not fraud. That's terrorism. That's treason. That's execution-level crimes. And my FBI director, Kash Patel, is personally investigating. You should be very worried. Very, very worried. 3 hours after the Rose Garden press conference, every network is still covering it. CNN plays highlights on loop. Fox celebrates. MSNBC tries to spin, but can't. The evidence is overwhelming. By sunset, Democratic leadership abandons her. Representative Omar must address these serious allegations. Translation: You're on your own. Within 24 hours, federal investigations are announced. Justice Department, campaign finance, marriage fraud, tax fraud, Treasury, terror financing, IRS, financial disclosure fraud, House Ethics Committee, multiple violations. But the real story happens in Minneapolis. Sarah Chen stands outside Lincoln Elementary School. Teacher, 22 years, never enough funding. That $1 billion was supposed to feed kids like Marcus. She holds up a photo of a young boy, 8 years old. Instead, criminals stole it. Omar's bill let them. Omar's friends stole it. And President Trump exposed it. That's not racism. That's justice. Imam Abdullahi Hassan speaks from his Minneapolis mosque. Somali American, legal immigrant, citizen. Omar hurts all of us. She claims to represent us while enriching herself, using our community as a shield. President Trump attacked criminals, not Somalis. There's a difference, and we're grateful someone finally held her accountable. 2 weeks later, Omar announces she won't seek re-election. No press conference, just a statement. After consideration, I've decided not to seek re-election. Proud of my service. Thank you, Minnesota. Translation: Career over. Too many scandals, too much evidence, too much truth. Federal investigations continue. Her legacy: fraud, corruption, betrayal. Trump holds a follow-up press conference. Look, I don't take pleasure in this, but somebody had to expose the corruption, the fraud, the lies. Media wouldn't do it. Democrats wouldn't do it. So, I did with evidence, and with facts, with truth. And now, she's done. Career over. Justice served. That's what I do. Drain the swamp. One fraud at a time. This story matters. For years, Ilhan Omar hid behind identity politics, called critics racist, used her refugee status as a shield. And it worked. Media protected her. Democrats defended her. Until President Trump exposed everything. In 73 minutes, in the Rose Garden, on live television, 6 scandals, all documented, all proven, all devastating. If this gave you satisfaction, if you're tired of corrupt politicians hiding behind identity, hit that like button. Share this. Let people know what happened. Let them see how Trump destroyed Omar with evidence and truth. Comment what other squad members need this treatment. AOC, Tlaib, Presley. Subscribe for more accountability, more truth, more justice. The swamp is deep, but we're draining it one corrupt politician at a time.